Welcome back to Players Only. And Biggie asked a very profound question on his first album, what's beef? And fellas, when we see a team or a duo like this that's won championships together, that Coach Popovich helped develop Kawhi's career, Kawhi helped extend Popovich's winning streak there, what do you see when you see this, Zeke?
Well, clearly trust was broken, right? And we don't, trust from a medical perspective, the player not believing in the medical staff, and then it filtered on down to the coaches and the team and everything else. And when trust is broken, it's hard to restore. And, when you read those comments about leadership, I would say, there are different styles of leadership. Mm-hmm. And some people are verbal and vocal with their leadership, and then some lead by example. And you have to say Kawhi Leonard led by example. Now, he may have not been a verbal leader, and he may have not given you voice, but what he gave you by example, presence, showing up, practicing hard, being an MVP candidate, winner, champion, you have to say that he was a leader.
And for me, Kevin, Kawhi was the Finals MVP in 2014. His last healthy season with this team, he averaged 25, 6, and 4 assists. And Coach Popovich was my assistant coach my rookie year, and he's a great man. But one of the things I did not like was how the media, and we're players, took the side of Pop for the bully pulpit. Yeah. When they said, well, he'll have to talk to his people. I thought a lot of this was unprofessional because we never heard from Kawhi. And I've been in positions where I would let you talk and I wouldn't say anything, and you win the argument or your truth becomes the truth. And
yeah, we've seen that from you for about 10 years.
Yes, sir. But I got people on my back, so we're coming out of it.
Welcome back to
Michigan. Thank you. But, at the same time, you look at what Kawhi was, and when I think of San Antonio the last few years, I see them passing down the baton. When I saw players say, hey, we have these meetings trying to get them to play, I didn't like those players. I was ticked off at those players because that's just stuff you don't do. And we all know, and I had a serious injury. We're never supposed to trust one opinion. Whether it's the team doctor or whether it's your father who's a doctor, you should go get another opinion. So I really didn't like the way it played out and specifically made him a villain, though I don't know both sides. Now that we're going to have the game come up, now that you see both teams are playing well, why do we still have all this talk? Does it hurt feelings?
There are hurt feelings. There's no question. That was kind of a love affair that ended up in marriage, that ended up in a divorce. And it wasn't a clean divorce either. They didn't say we're going to part ways and be happy. That went bad all over the place. That went bad from him getting hurt, no one understanding what's happening, Kawhi not saying anything. Kawhi's just a quiet guy. I think Pop's getting really, really frustrated. One thing I'll say about Pops, that's how Pops feels. Because when Pop doesn't want to answer a question, believe me, we've all seen him do it. Yeah. He doesn't answer a question.
That's right.
He'll say a whole bunch of nothing, but he won't answer that question. But he felt like that. And I will say one thing. As a coach, there's two types of leadership. As a coach, you really like the verbal guys that take your message and throw it out there. But as a player, you know what I like?
Yeah.
The leadership guys. Exactly.
I'm with you. When coach looking,
I couldn't agree more, Chris. I was like, man, I played with a just do it guy. Larry didn't say a whole bunch. Everything he did say, I couldn't repeat on his show. But he went out there and did it. Robert Parrish was quiet, but Robert went out and did it. So, with those guys as a player, following them was easy because they just went out and did it, but they weren't verbal. And as a coach, sometimes, man, hey, you give your best rah-rah speeches. Zeke, you've been there. You need some guy to go up and go, this is what we need. And Kawhi is not doing that, I promise you. So Pops is looking at this just strictly from a coach's lens, not from a player's lens. If he was a player's lens, he would say, man, that guy led by example.
You know what leadership is to me? Kawhi, will you go get us a stop and guard the best player?
Amen.
I got him.
Did he do that every time?
I agree.
And so I just don't like that because we know how people try to set narratives on you. And the more you win, the more your word goes and you can set a narrative. And I really think that's unfair. That's why I'm glad that we're in the media to be able to call out stuff like this because we've been in that situation. I love Pop and he's a great coach. But to say a guy wasn't there for leadership, he was your best defender, helped transfer the game, listened, a good guy off the